Nematodes are microscopically small, unsegmented worms that can be both harmful and useful in a garden setting. Although they measure less than a millimeter in length, they contribute greatly to the ecosystem and can create an overall balance. The use of these in a garden is so that there is sustainable pest management by targeting harmful insects without causing harm to other beneficial insects or pollinators. Their presence helps maintain a natural balance in the garden, reducing the need for chemical pesticides. If nematodes are implemented into a garden correctly, they can become so compatible and work in harmony with other gardening methods such as tilling, soil solarization, along with cover crops. With this in place, it doesn't only help the soil health, but it also uses organic materials instead of relying heavily on chemicals, which help support agriculture practices instead. To apply nematodes, studies from the environmental factor suggest that the ideal time to apply these nematodes is when there is moderate UV lighting, such as the early mornings and late afternoons. Their presence in the soil, along with other biological control agents, have proven to be successful in achieving complete pest control throughout different stages of a pest infestation. Because of these benefits, using nematodes can be very rewarding in a garden and provide many alternatives to chemical uses.
In this slide, we're looking at how beneficial nematodes function as a natural solution for controlling soil-dwelling pests. These microscopic roundworms offer an effective alternative to chemical pesticides, which is especially important in the context of organic and sustainable agriculture. The two main species used are Stenormer and Heterohapitis, which are selected based on the type of insect pest and from within its cycle. Once it's applied to the soil through irrigation and spraying systems, the nematodes actively seek out pests, enter their bodies, and release symbiotic bacteria that kill the host from within. For these organisms to be effective, proper conditions such as soil moisture, temperature, and storage are essential. Additionally, timing is key. Applying them when pests are in a vulnerable stage of their development increases success. The biological control method is practical for both large-scale farms and small organic growers, serving as a powerful tool in reducing pest populations without disturbing the environment. The next slide highlights the outcomes and broader significance of using beneficial nematodes in agriculture. According to field studies, these nematodes significantly reduce pest populations like grubs and caterpillars. One of the major advantages is that they do so with minimal risk to pollinators and other non-target organisms, making them an environmentally safe option. However, their success depends on correctly matching the nematode species to the pest, matching them correctly, and following proper application guidelines. While nematodes are not a one-size-fits-all solution, they work best integrated into a proper IPM. This might include combining them with other biological factors or just changing your practices. Overall, beneficial nematodes support sustainable agriculture by reducing chemical inputs and promoting ecological balance, making them a valuable resource for future-focused farming strategies.
In the study of biocontrol activity of purple Yosilium lilacinum strains in managing root knot disease of tomato caused by Melodogen incognita, researchers explored the use of P. lycilium as biocontrol, which was motivated by negative environmental outcomes, health concerns, and the declining effectiveness of chemical nematicides that are generally used. In order to do so, the researchers conducted a series of experiments and trials both in controlled lab environments and a naturally root knot infested field environment that was ongoing for 2 years. In the controlled lab environments, the researchers had inoculated the microbiome organisms onto a petri dish that had already contained the plant parasitic nematode incognita, where it was left for 7 days in order to identify the effectiveness. In the field environments, trials included inoculating tomato plants that were infested with incognita, and they applied varying strains of P. lilacinum to evaluate the impact they had on plant growth and root knot nematode reduction. The results of this study showed that P. lilacinum is significant in biocontrol against plant parasitic nematodes like M. incognita in both lab and field environments. Specifically, one of their isolate strains, HYBPL04, as it was the most effective in reducing larva survival and hatching rates while also improving plant growth at the same time, as it increased shoot length by 25% from 47.6 centimeters in the control tomato plant versus the tomato plant that had been inoculated by the isolate strain at 63.8 centimeters of growth, as well as reduced root galling from up to 61%. This highlighting the effectiveness of P. lilacinum in managing root knot plant parasitic nematodes infestations and also increasing its potential as a sustainable alternative to chemical nematicides that generally have a negative impact on the environment, especially as plant parasitic nematodes have become more tolerant to chemical nematicides and other pesticides that are being used on our large-scale and local farming.
Conclusion. The usage of beneficial nematodes and microbial biological control representatives. 1. Provides an encouraging and environmentally sustainable solution to the growing threat of plant parasitic nematodes in agriculture. 2. Supplies lifelong suppression of pests while developing plant health and soil restoration. 3. These results altogether highlight the need for wide-ranging support of integrated pest management procedures that embraces natural biocontrol representatives. 4th, by transitioning to these sustainable practices, both large-scale and small-scale farmers can help save agricultural efficiency, environmental health, and as well as ensuring food security for future generations.